Hey y'all, it's Alex from Usage Craft, and today I'll show you how to make this super simple, like little party bunting out of scrap yarn. So there's a lot of flexibility in this project. You can kind of make it as long or as short as you want to. I used 5 different triangles and 3 total colors, but you could do this all in one color if you wanted. I would recommend using like at least 2 colors just so that some of your triangles can be different colors. But again, totally up to you. So let's talk about the materials that we need for this. So in order to crochet this little bunting, you'll need some scrap yarn in 2 different colors, or I mean, you could totally use more or less if you wanted. I used Brava worsted in Denim is this lighter blue color, and then Tidepool is this like teal. I used an H 5mm crochet hook, and then you'll also need a tapestry needle and scissors. To get started, you're going to chain 13. If you want a larger or smaller triangle, you can you can chain any odd number. And that will give you like kind of the same decreasing steps that I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I've got 13, and I'm going to be doing half double crochets. So for row 1, I'm just going to straight up half double crochet all the way across. Again, I'm going in my back bumps. It's not a huge deal where you put your stitches. Sorry, this chain is like tighter than I wanted it to be. It's not a huge deal where you put your stitches, but I find that putting it in the back bumps gives it a cleaner edge. And then when we add our border, like the kind of string that connects the triangles in our bunting, that will be easier if we use the back bumps, because it'll be kind of like we're crocheting onto the tops of stitches. So I've just got a couple left, and this will give me 12 half double crochets for my first row. I'm going to double count just to confirm. All right, so I've got all of them. So this is going to be my first decrease row, and this is what's going to give us our triangle shape. So I'm going to yarn over to do my chain, and then yarn over for my first half double crochet. So I'm putting it into the first stitch, yarning over and pulling up the first loop, but I'm going to be doing what's called HDC2 together, abbreviated HDC2 tag. And so I've already got like the first part of my first stitch, but now I'm going to yarn over and start another one in the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull it through, which gives me 5 loops on my hook. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of those at once. And so that is our HDC 2 together. So that's our decrease stitch. Now I'm going to do 8 half double crochets. Whoops. Here's 6. 7 and 8, which means that now I have 2 stitches left, and I'm going to do another decrease. So I've yarned over, I'm inserting my hook in that first stitch, the second to last stitch in the row. Now I'm yarning over and pulling up a loop, which gives me 3 loops on my hook, 1, 2, 3. Now I yarn over and insert my hook into the last stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. And so now I have 5 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of them, which will give me that a decrease, or that 2 HDCs together stitch. And now I chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to use that same pattern. So here we already have our next HDC 2 together stitch. So I've yarned over and turned. I'm inserting my hook into the first stitch, yarning over and pulling up a loop. So now I've got 3 loops on my hook, and this is like the first part of my half double crochet. So now I'm yarning over, inserting my hook into that next stitch. So I'm starting a new stitch, pulling up a loop. So now I have 5 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull them all through. And then now I'm going to do 6 half double crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then when I'm done with this last stitch, that will give me, it'll leave me with 2 stitches left for another one of those decreases. So I've yarned over, I'm inserting my hook into the second to last stitch, yarning over and pulling up a loop. So this is the whole beginning of my half double crochet. But now I start another stitch in that next one. So I've yarned over, I'm inserting my hook now into the last stitch, yarning over and pulling up a loop. Now I've got 5, and I'm yarning over and pulling through everything. And so here I am on my next row, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing a half double crochet 2 together. And then now I'm going to do 4, whoop, can't get this yarn. Now I'm going to do 4 half double crochets, just normal ones. Four, and then so then I wrapped it up with another decrease. So I've chained 1, and now I'm turning, and I'm going to do another decrease. So the HDC 2 together, and we are doing this at the beginning and end of each row. But now I only have 2 normal half double crochets because I've decreased so many times already. So now I'm going to decrease with my 2 half double crochets together. And I'm down to my last 2 rows. So I'm turning, and now I'm just going to have 2 half double crochets together. So I'm pulling through all those loops on my hook, and now I'm starting my next one. So yarning over, inserting my hook, pulling up a loop, yarning over, inserting into that last stitch in the row, pulling up a loop, and pulling through all 5 loops on my hook. And then now I only have 1 row left, and it's only 1 stitch. So I'm going to do a 1 half double crochet together. And that's it. So I'm going to trim a tail, pull through my yarn, and now I'm going to weave in my ends. Keep in mind though that once you're done with this, you'll need to make 6 total. I'm sorry, you'll need 5 total. You can totally make more. It will give you a longer bunting. It'll change like the amount of yarn that you use a little bit, and it'll also change the instructions for adding the like rope that ties it all together. But the pattern is repetitive, so like it's pretty easy to just add more when you want to. So make at least 5, but you know, more if you want. I'm going to weave in my ends on this one, and then I'll show you how to join it all together. So I kind of went down into that first half double crochet like that. I guess it's the last half double crochet together that we did, that last decrease where it was the only stitch in that row, and I'm just kind of like weaving in the middle. If you remember from my video about weaving in, I like to go over the same spot because that adds some, it makes like the yarn tighter in that area. It adds some extra friction so that your yarn is less likely to like slip out. So I usually go through the same area like at least twice. But sometimes 3 times. And then I just kind of like make sure that it's the right shape again. I don't want to pull it too tight. And then I just trim my yarn. And then I still have this starting tail to weave in. All right, so there's another triangle. I've got all of them, at least all the ones I'm going to use. Again, you need at least 5 just so you can kind of alternate your colors, but you are welcome to do more if you want to. So we have the main part done, but now we need to crochet like kind of a rope to connect these. So this is going to be a combination of chains and then just single crochet stitches to join it to the top of each one. So let's do that. So I'm going to use this light gray color. Again, you don't have to use this many colors. I'm just trying to use up my yarn scraps from this Newbie series. So I have like just kind of random amounts of, of random yarns. You could totally, if you have enough, use some of one of your other colors. You could make every one of these triangles a different color. really like 2 is just the minimum amount of colors, but even if it was all one color, it'd still be cute. But so I'm going to chain 10. And then I will just single crochet on top of this, just 1 stitch in each stitch. So I'm just literally like, I just put in my hook and like just crocheted into it. So since we started with 12 stitches in the like longest row of our triangle, then I'll have 12 single crochets up here. But it doesn't like really matter that much. Let's just confirm that I have 12. All right, so there's 12. And now the amount of chains you put between each triangle is totally up to you and like what style you want your bunting to have and how spaced out you want it to be. I'm going to chain 5, which will put them pretty close together. But again, like this is your project, so you get to choose what you think would look the cutest. And I'm just doing the same thing I did when I joined the teal. I just insert my hook and then I just single crochet right on top of that baby. Oops, my hook came out. All right, here's 1. So here's the first couple triangles on there. This one only has 11, so somewhere I missed a stitch, but again, it's not a huge deal. But you'll chain 5 again and then join your next triangle. So keep doing that. At the end, you're going to put on however many chains you started with. So like I started with 10, so I would put 10 at the very end. But go ahead and finish this up. And then you have like a super cute little party bunting. Or if you have a child, they can use it with like their dollhouse or something. You could use this in like cute Instagram flat lays, like whatever needs kind of a little, just like a little fun decoration. So thank you so much for watching. If you're a new crocheter, sign up for the Newbie Series. You can find the link in the description below. And then make sure you subscribe to the You Should Craft channel for more free crochet patterns and tutorials. But thanks for watching.